We welcome you all to another edition of The Beat from 12th Man Studios in the south end zone of Kyle Field. I'm Will Johnson. The work cycle in college football seems to never stop. Just after Texas A&M ended their bowl game in December, it was on to the recruiting season. Shortly after signing day, spring ball was on the horizon. Kevin Sumlin and his team got back to the practice fields in prep for the 2016 season, and that work ended with the playing of the spring game Saturday inside this very stadium.
Let's get this thing going for this next season, fellas. Compete all day. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Saturday evening in front of 27,412 fans inside Kyle Field. It was the first spring game held in A&M's renovated home since 2013. It was the Aggie offense clad in maroon versus the A&M D wearing white. Offensive points were tallied in normal fashion, but a non-traditional scoring system was in place to help reward the defense. Senior grad transfer QB Trevor Knight would take the field first in this one, and he put on quite the performance. He finished the day completing 25 of 36 passes for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also tacked on one more TD with his legs.
And they go quickly, and Knight keeps it along the right side. Quick little move right there to get to the pylon, and he gets there.
Junior QB Jake Ubenak was also efficient in the early going, but his playing time would be limited due to illness. Junior wide receivers Ricky Seals-Jones and Damian Ratley both had 4 catches apiece, as did true freshman running back Travion Williams. Junior Speedy Noel had 3 catches for 60 yards, including this 36-yard TD strike from fellow wide receiver Christian Kirk. A little trickery was in order, helping the wideouts link up. Senior wide receiver Boone Niederhofer also shined in the scrimmage, catching 2 passes, both of them going for touchdowns.
Knight back to pass, looks his way again. No, this time over the middle. Finds Niederhofer again. And this time the catch is good. And Niederhofer punts it into section 105.
New offensive coordinator Noel Mazzone allowed his assistants to call the plays, and the ground game was featured throughout. Sophomore Kwame Etway led all rushers with 72 yards on 11 carries. Junior James White had 68 yards on just 5 carries. Redshirt freshman Kendall Bussey also had 12 carries for 46 yards. Knight did have one blemish on Saturday as junior defensive back Armani Watts picked off a pass in the first quarter of action. Sophomore Deshaun Capers-Smith got in on the act as well with an INT of his own in the second half. The defensive pass rush also made their presence felt.
And that's Quaylen Cunningham, another one of those defensive ends that they are excited about, and he got off like a rocket. No chance that time.
No. Quaylen Cunningham ended the night with 2.5 quarterback sacks. Senior Deshaun Hall also impressed, finishing with 1.5 sacks. However, in the end, it was the Aggie-O that got the best of the A&M D. The final from Kyle Field, Maroon Team 42, White Team 38. This portion of The Beat is brought to you by ASCO, your place for case construction equipment in Texas. We welcome you back to the latest edition of The Beat. Texas A&M football on Saturday wrapped up spring drills with the spring game at Kyle Field. You just got a recap of it a moment ago, and we are now joined at our desk by head coach Kevin Sumlin. And Coach, one of the things that was a hot topic entering spring ball is you welcomed 3 new coaches. You've got Noel Mazzone now as your offensive coordinator, Jim Turner running the offensive line, David Turner with some of the defensive linemen. What dynamic did that add to spring ball?
Well, I think, the first thing that jumps off the page is experience. And guys who have SEC experience, and in particular with David Turner and Noel Mazzone. And then a guy who's got A&M experience and Jimmy Turner. So, guys are understand the situation, understand our league, but also understand A&M, a combination of those things. And David Turner coming in on defense really taking over the defensive tackles, helping them grow. I think that's been a good move for us defensively with his experience in our league, in recruiting, and the position. And then offensively, Noel's been around, understands what we want to do, and then and how to do it. And I think Jimmy Turner, obviously being here before, hit the ground running, and I think from what we've seen and what's happened over the course of 15 practices over the last couple 3 months, we've gotten better, and that's what it's all about.
Coach, earlier this week, you make the decision to announce Trevor Knight as your starting quarterback. What weighed most into it?
I think you go through the whole body of work, and his performance in the spring, across the 15 practices, leadership he brings, and really, just his overall performance throughout the spring brought us to that decision. Coming out of spring football with where this team is right now, I think it gives him an opportunity, and Jake an opportunity, really to really keep competing, and then but also know what's going on, where guys stand. But we're going to need both those guys, and that was our message on Monday, and talking with them both. Like I said, they're both good competitors. They're good friends. They understand what it takes to win. They understand what it takes to go through hard times, but they also understand the leadership role that both of them have, and so they're ready to go. So as we move out of one phase of football, the spring football playing phase, and into the off season for the summer, those guys are going to be in charge of the workouts, 7-on-7s, and have us ready to go when we get back for the fall.
Defensively, John Chavis, second year as the coordinator. When you think about the talent on that side of the ball and the strides that can be made from year one to year two in a system, can they be truly elite defensively in 2016?
I think it's going to depend a little bit on our second level. I think, up front we've got the talent and the numbers. We've been able to really rotate guys in and out. I think unquestionably our back end, our safeties will be as good as anybody in the country. Donovan Wilson didn't practice this spring, coming off of shoulder surgery, but he was able to get bigger and strong. He's 205 now. Really a big-time playmaker for us as far as turnovers and creating negative yardage plays. So, I was really happy with how Sean Washington and Otero Alaka finished the spring. Both those guys are around 240 now. Got to get some help out of Claude George and Josh Walker, and we'll have some guys coming in here too. So we'll have the pieces to be able to be a really, really good defense. In year two with the communication the way it is, we ought to make some improvements still. We made a dramatic improvement last year, but we've got to shore up our run defense, and if we can do that and still play the type of pass defense we did last year, we could be one of the better defenses, in the league. And if you're one of the better defenses in our league, you're one of the better ones in the country.
No question. And think about what's coming up. You break spring camp, you'll reconvene as a whole in August for preseason workouts. But during the summer, these players are going to go through workouts with Larry Jackson, and then they can conduct some sessions on their own, passing and things like that. It's not well publicized what they do in the summer, but it may be one of the more important parts of prep for a season and can go a long way in potential success.
Yeah, I mean, we've done very well with that part of it. It's we usually hit the ground running when it comes at the beginning of the season. So what we've done in the summer from a football standpoint, preparation-wise, has been from a football tactical standpoint, and getting guys ready to go has been good. I think where we've made changes, and even this season, the off season, and where we're making them in the summer is even more in our strength and conditioning and what we're doing to make sure that we can carry the type of strength, mass, momentum throughout the season that we carry at the beginning.
All right, right, Coach, we appreciate your time. It all leads to that UCLA game September 3rd here at Kyle Field. Long way off, but it'll be here before you know it. Appreciate your time, Coach.
All right, thanks for having me.
Kevin Sumlin right here on the beat. After the break, his new offensive coordinator, Noel Mazzone, is mic'd up. This portion of the beat is brought to you by ASCO, your place for case construction equipment in Texas. Welcome back to the latest edition of The Beat. Noel Mazzone, he's been all over college football in his past. He's been an offensive coordinator in the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12, and SEC. He returns to this league once more in his first year as the OC at Texas A&M.
Let's go, quick. Let's go, quick. That means you guys too. You guys got to finish on every play. Hey, DeBoyer, go back. Hurry up. Nice job, Speedy.
I had no preconceived notions of who was here or what kind of player they were. All right, life is performance-based, okay? And I never mistake potential for performance. At the end of the day, who's getting the job done best for you? Hey, let's teach you the playbook. All right, let's teach you the offense. Let's give you all the tools you need to be successful in this offense.
Look at him. Get your eyes on what's important. He's important, all right? Find that target. Now the next one. Bam, good, bam. There you go, right there, Jake. Right there.
We've got some really talented guys at wide receiver, so I really haven't worried about them. There's some things to clean up fundamentally that these guys can get better at. I've really been happy with the inside guys, so with the offensive line and how they've progressed as we've gone through. We haven't maybe progressed as fast as we will in camp through the spring, because there's terminology, there's new coaches, there's all that newness to what we're doing. But I've really seen the improvement the last couple of days with our offensive line and even in our running backs, recognizing fronts, targeting right, getting hats on hats and doing those type of things, which is going to have us a chance to have some success.
You seem like you're a humorous guy, if you ask me. This is
Yeah, obviously I haven't been listening to any of my jokes lately.
the world of college football can have pressure involved in it. You play on TV, you play in front of thousands. Does some levity and some humor need to be brought into it?
Oh, I think so. I think at the end of the day, let's don't forget it is a game. It's a game to be enjoyed. It's a game for these kids to go out and have some fun. I don't even know why they say a 5'9" quarter can't play in the league, because I saw you play.
Come on, man.
No, I'm not doing it today.
Oh, we took it out?
Yeah, I took it out. I'm not going to do it till Friday night. Nacho, don't be frickin' telling your buddies on defense either. Hey, what do you want? Hey, I want a number 2, extra cheese, chocolate shake. Hey, can you make my fries extra crispy, okay?
Absolutely.
If you look at most successful people in the world, okay, one is a passion for what they do, and the other thing is enthusiasm for what they do. And for me, it's hard to have enthusiasm if you don't have a little bit of fun. And that's what I want our kids to attack every day. I want them to attack practice that way and meetings that way, and the whole thing is, hey, we're going to work hard, we're going to be enthusiastic. Obviously, we got to have some passion for what we're doing, all right, and we're going to enjoy what we're doing. Full speed. Good. Obviously, being around Coach Sumlin and his staff, if you want good chemistry or great chemistry on your football team, you need to have good and great chemistry in your staff. And I really think we have that. I'm fired up to come to work every day. And then on top of that, you put on top of that, the facilities and the town and, playing in the SEC West. If I can just score a few points every week, I think we'll be all right.
Welcome back to 12th Man Studios. Texas A&M baseball entering this weekend had hit their roughest patch of the season. Going into a series versus the Georgia Bulldogs, they had lost 4 in a row. At Olson Field at Bluebell Park, they felt it was time to get back on track. Friday night looked to be a difficult task. The Aggies would go against Robert Tyler, one of the SEC's best. He'd flirted with no-hitters in his last 2 outings. But A&M had Brigham Hill, making his first Friday start of his career. The sophomore stole the show. He threw shutout baseball into the 7th inning. By that time, the Aggies had more than they'd need. They did well versus Tyler. Austin Holman produced a 2 RBI single to the right side in the 4th. Later, Walker Pennington hit his first home run as an Aggie. Andrew Vinson relieved Hill and completed the shutout. Vinson's appearance included this spectacular play. A&M wins 5-0, taking the series opener. Saturday, a power display. The Aggies started the 5th inning with back-to-back home runs. Boomer White led off with one. He was followed by Hunter Melton, who went opposite field to get his. Next, Ryan Burke goes deep. 3 in a row. It's now a blowout. For good measure, Hunter Melton added a second home run late. And Nick Banks got in on the act as well. 5 over the wall by the Aggies on Saturday. Jace Vine started on the mound. He threw 8 strong innings. A&M wins easily, 15-1. Sunday, looking for the sweep, big moment. Bottom 3, bases loaded, 2 outs, no score. Big hitter at the plate.
Look out. A big battle between Bo Tucker and Hunter Melton, and Melton wins.
The Aggies cruise from there. Kyle Simons nearly tossed a complete game. He continued the excellent starting pitching on the weekend. That and the power hitting lead A&M to a sweep of the Dogs. The Aggies win the finale 10-2. Hunter Melton ended the UGA Series 6 for 11 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. He was named the Southeastern Conference's Player of the Week. Softball, they had a rough weekend at Tennessee, but the highlight of the week came on Tuesday when Trinity Harrington tossed a no-hitter against Stephen F. Austin and the Aggies' 9-0 win. Softball is 31-9 on the year. They host Alabama, who's in the top 5 this weekend in College Station. After sweeping one set of Bulldogs, it's on to another. This weekend in Starkville, Texas A&M baseball is at Mississippi State. It's a consensus top 10 matchup. Mississippi State first in the SEC West, the Aggies second. This will go a long way in the Southeastern Conference standings. We're back in a moment to close out the beat. A quick reminder before we say goodbye on this edition of the Beat, Texas A&M softball. They have a big series right here in College Station this weekend. They host top 5 Alabama Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Aggie Softball Complex. That's all for the Beat. We will see you next week.